Welcome to Truly Bedrock, your friendly YouTube Minecraft server. Now that we all have decided that SlackLizard is the one to blame for the moon being broken, there's nothing to worry about and everything is fixed forever. The moon might still appear broken at night, but silentwisperer is already hard at work fixing it, so there's absolutely nothing to worry about. After all, no bad things dare to happen after you already have found a scapegoat. Now that we went to the moon and found out for sure exactly what happened, you can enjoy the Minecraft with friends experience that you always wanted. The moon mission has stopped nothing. The moon will continue to fall. We are all still very much in danger. I got no proof. Well, I got proof. But it's, look, I saw Vexes. I saw Vexes up there. Why would there be there Vexes? I understand Mr. Barbecue, he gets everywhere. I understand Zap, he gets everywhere. Vexes. Why? Yeah, I know Vexes despawn. They despawned, they died. I got no proof, basically. But I know what I saw. I think I can crack this. I don't know why I bothered to explain it to you. You have literally no bloody idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, I have no idea why I ever thought that the villagers would figure out the moon stuff. They are very clearly not the best people suited. Not the people best suited for this. However, you know who is? I am, because I got this thing on. So, let's go over this one more time. There's plenty of stuff that's been happening on the server, and I feel like even if for now the brightest, the biggest picture we can have is that Slack has destroyed the moon, and then it just started falling, there has to be more to it. There has to be way more to it. You know what? I really need to get rid of these stupid things. About time. What is up, the world of the living? My name is Zloyxp. Welcome to Truly Bedrock. Yeah, welcome to Truly Bedrock. Here's your shears, here's your giant signs about random stuff. Here are your 5 pranks that someone reinstated on your base while you were away on the moon. Oh my god, this server is a lot, guys. This server is a lot, and that's the way I like it. But this stuff up there, it's not gonna go away. No matter what everyone says, we have ourselves. Oh no! We have ourselves a job to do. And we need to sort this stuff out. And yeah, if you haven't seen the previous episode, do see it. I am not joking, this is not just me trying to crank up the analytics. The previous episode might have been one of the most important Truly Bedrock episodes on the entire channel. But for those of you who haven't seen it, here's a quick recap. A bunch of stuff happened, we went to the moon, and at the very end, I saw 2 Vexes, while everyone was already left. So yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of a headache to prove to people. I highly doubt that they're just gonna randomly spawn up there, but this is peculiar because I will need to figure out exactly what is going on with the moon before I present anything to anyone. Because we know what happened to Jessie B, okay? We know what happened to Jessie B when she tried to be the whistleblower. She got kind of, you know, shafted by the entire server and shunned by the society. And, yeah, I believe the words I myself used towards her were the crazy tree lady. So, we need to be very careful about it. Find people that will believe me. And before we even do that, assemble all of the evidence available in a comprehensive and very entertaining order. Perhaps a musical number. Well, I tried putting together some verses, but none of them really struck me as stuff of legends or something that can convince a person of something as asinine as there being Vexes on the moon or any sentient life up there, really. So instead, I started working on this evidence room that I've been kind of sleeping in, I've been walking in, I've been drinking a lot of coffee, you know, staring intensely into the sunset, trying to figure out what is it that happened and what is it that's going on this server. Something ain't right, and I'm the only one who can crack it. But But while doing that, I actually came up with something quite interesting in the way to structure information if we got a fence post. And if we got a little bit of sticks and a little bit of a shovel and a little bit of a boat and 24 flipping leads, what we can do is we can put together something of this variety. Punch out this one, put fence post down here, put this here, and put boat behind this thing. Tiny bit, yeah, okay, not the best, tiny bit sticking out, but doesn't really matter. And then, for example, we have two pieces of evidence that connect together in an interesting way. For example, this hole right here is a preserved, laminated picture of FoxyNoTail's base right after it blew up. And then, somewhere in here we got yeah, happy anniversary, we're all gonna die. These two pieces of evidence naturally are connected. So what we'll be doing with them is we'll be putting one here. So this is the picture of it. And one here. So this is newspaper clipping from that date. And then we grab a lead and we zap. And as long as we kind of block off the rest of the peripheral vision here and here, it looks like one of those, you know, in movies, like the smart people do in movies when they assemble this kind of stuff, where they have red line going from one bit of evidence to another, or like everything's coming up on a single map, and then they step aside and suddenly it all makes sense, because apparently, you know, criminology is basically just a magic eye picture. As long as you look at it, like squint at it right, it instantly solves the case for you. Although at least that's how I hope this is gonna go, because this so far is not going that great, to be completely honest. Okay, here's a proof of concept. These so far just look like walls, but if we break or open these trapdoors, we will be able to put a nice item frame on it. So let's see. It's actually gonna take a lot of effort to right click. Okay, this is useless. I'm not gonna right click if nothing is leashed. So here's the display of the bolts. They're in 2 rows. Basically I have 5 spots for potential evidences. So let's do something like this, and then connect to here, because I wanted it to be a little bit diagonal. Well, that's fun. I got stuck in a boat. Alright, you, Peace Moon, get here. And just for an experiment. See? I swear I had a point there. It's not just me pointing at a piece of stone and going, look at this. I'm not crazy, I promise. No, look at this. I'm not crazy, I promise. My point is, it doesn't fall. So why would this thing drop down here and get stuck in the... Why? That's the entire thing. We were on the moon. Nothing was falling. Nothing was, like, affected by gravity. The moon rocks weren't affected by gravity. There were a bunch of floating islands, perfectly floating, not going anywhere. So why was that there? And how did any of this happen? Those are the questions that keep me up at night. Because it is night and I'm currently doing, you know, not sleeping. Yeah, but also being here reminds me about the very recent raid I had around here that somebody triggered, as far as I know. And that in its own way reminded me of the first ever thing we did on this server. Which is we dodged a raid. Well, we didn't dodge a raid, we fought a raid. Several of us, in fact, in 2 different groups. Fought 2 different raids. And the ones who did it fastest won. So yeah. Another thing is I remember specifically trying to defend this village from the actual raid. And guess what? We did that too in very early into the season, which was incredibly successful, which is why I'm taking a picture of it. But that makes me think about how a lot of the people areas have been hit. A lot of the congregations we never really saw. One thing we never saw throughout the entire season is a meteor somewhere just in the wild. Somewhere where no one lives. Just in the middle of a field. We never encountered a meteor like that. Suggesting that someone does in fact put in a target on our heads. But if that, then why didn't the community area ever get targeted? So between the maps and the newspaper articles and the, you know, unfinished coffee, which I really need to go put into the dishwasher, we are on a good way. This conspiracy corner is coming together really nicely. The problem is that it's now a part of a very sizable random area that is not decorated whatsoever. And I feel that between the conspiracy corner and the personal, you know, walking quarters over here, this area is basically destined to become my personal study. A little room where I can, well, okay, not a little room, but a room in where I do my personal dark bidding, figure out my theories, plan out videos, you know, decide what I'm gonna do next. It is actually very fitting seeing how basically in every let's play, every time I have a house, they all have these writing desks that I can sit at, because still, even though I haven't written a single novel in like years and decades at this point, I still very much consider myself a bit of a writer, a bit of a storyteller at the very least, if nothing else. So that helps. That definitely helps with decorating the rest of the room and making it all feel more homely. But you know what I will definitely need? You know, not as a writer, but generally as a person? A place to sleep. And while this is a study, so it's not meant to have sleeping quarters, it will definitely help if we have a little bit of a bed around here. So let's build a little bit of a bed. Actually, let's build several, because I have this one interesting idea. Okay, so we can just put a bed in the middle of all this, right? So what if we instead tried and masked it as if it wasn't a bed at all? As if it was, for example, a little reading couch. We basically, okay, we basically messed up by having this be an uneven area. So that's not really the best, but I'm still gonna show you the design, just so you guys are maybe potentially inspired, or at the very least, you know, get a false feeling that you learned something while watching this video. So, for a little reading couch, well, not even for a little one, but like for a sizable one. Where's the nearest crafting table? Okay, now it's here. For a little reading couch, what you will have to do is you will have to basically do this, and then this, and then this. And now, as soon as we cover up these areas, basically with the white wool embedded into a wall, that's when it's gonna absolutely hit you, and you're gonna instantly recognize this. Oh yeah, this is a little bit of a couch, right? We have this the spine bit, the little bit where you can put your back against. Yeah, it's really nice and really cozy. All we have to do is put a desk in the middle, which again with stairs will not necessarily be a problem. And it does not look anything good, because it's for now a little bit too small. We can still make it fancier than it is right now by doing this on the sides instead of full blocks. And maybe, just maybe, we could put a little book somewhere in here, or potentially drop, you know, a candle. Yeah, it's already looking really nicely. It would work better if it was contextualized with more bookshelves, but sadly I'm currently really running low on those, and I don't even have a villager that would sell them, so that will sadly have to wait. So that's a lot of sewing equipment for this area that's supposed to be a library. But at the very least, I got the reading corner done. We got a window over here. It's supposed to provide enough light. If it doesn't, there's lanterns and stuff. And I added a little bit of an ornament up here, which does not solve our sleeping situation whatsoever. So I'll have to do something about that a tiny bit later. We'll see. The problem with that design of the couch is that it's supposed to go in a wall. And you can clearly tell the walls around here are too thin for me to fit a couch in them. Especially since you're not supposed to do that with couches. So I am currently trying to figure out what else to put in here. And one idea I had was the red room for photography work. Basically, a red room is where you make photos from your film, transfer pictures from film to photos. And we can't necessarily do that, seeing how I don't think the entire proposed time era that this is taking place in is supposed to have photography yet. Another idea I had was a piano, but truth be told, making my way downtown! Yeah, better not to. But speaking of minor annoyances, I do feel like I could still use myself a grandfather clock, especially since I think I got a minor variation on a very familiar design that I'm stealing from Good Times with Scar, while at the same time not really stealing from Good Times with Scar. Because there's one thing that Good Times with Scar in his silly Java Minecraft cannot do, and that is look for a stupid armor stand for like 15 minutes in his shulker boxes. No, that part he actually got nailed down. What I meant is armor stands, and they're much more limited functionality over on the Java Survival Edition. Mind you, the creative version actually allows you to cheat code around, but here on Bedrock Edition we can just rename an armor stand Gram, and it turns around and will serve easily as a pretty convincing pendulum. Pendulum. You know what, just get your clock and just start ticking, okay? Also, I swapped it for the spruce, simply because everything else already is dark oak. If there's anything, any like legit and deep criticisms I would want to send this room's way, is that I might have overdone it on the dark oak, but also while building it I might have, you know, hoped that I will install an actual ceiling, which I still might. You know what? Actually, to think about it, could probably use a chandelier of some sort. It's looking pretty nifty. I wish it had more supports under it, but I don't really feel that that is possible without making it look too cluttered. Also, what are you doing here? What are you trying to accomplish, buddy? It's dark outside. You should be looking for a night's sleep. Anyway, I added this fixture, this you know, support pillar slash shelving unit in the middle between the desk and the other desk, because this is supposed to be like for group projects. That one is just specifically for writing, and I decided that perhaps this is the time for me to break out something I already done basically in every single Bedrock series I've done before. So here's the final trick, I think, for this episode, and that is the good old switcheroo with the armor stands and the stairs, where we just do this, remove the piston, and voila, we got ourselves a pretty convenient and fairly incredibly usable thing, a usable display. We can put random items here for the armor stand to, you know, hold on to, and it will look like it's sticking out of on a little bit of a podium, on a little bit of a slope. I like this exact design. I love doing it. I wish I could go a tiny bit deeper under the floor, but sadly we know that there's a room down there. And yeah, can you get out of my working area or start helping me researching stuff? Yeah, that's what... Oh, crying out loud. Alright, I'm not wasting my time. Basically, yeah, I want to do this just a couple more times and see what happens. See, the situation here is that I don't really know what to put into these little... Okay, I need to drop them before. I don't really know what to put into these little holding bits, but I do know that I want them in here somewhere, just to fill in the area between the two visually, if nothing else. So yeah, if you got any ideas as to what sort of trophies and whatever are worth displaying in this downright luxurious manner, do tell. I'm all ears. Actually, I'm mostly, you know, just an entire human body, but ears are also somewhere in the package, so I'm thinking you'll be heard eventually, one way or another. And that's pretty much it for today's episode, friends. We have decorated this room. Look at it. It's pretty impressive looking, if I do say so myself. Naturally, it will appear much cleaner once I take out all the shulker boxes. And I feel this area down here makes a pretty convincing case. If just as long as I get to actually explain some of it and add the bit about Vexes on the moon somewhere in here. But still though, I think we should take it down a bit slow. And of all people to bring her first and try and get over on our side, I think we should start with one that basically already is. I need to get a hold of Jessie B. She knows more than we've been given her credit for. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's episode. So thank you everyone so much for watching. This has been... Whoa! This has been Zloyxp. This has been truly Bedrock. To be continued. Have a good one. Bye bye.